Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to BathroomBrewsMTG, the YouTube channel where I'll take my bad ideas, and sometimes yours, and turn them into something you won't want to flush away. For my first deck of the holiday season, I wanted it to be something special, something we can have a lot of fun with, and I couldn't think of a better way to spread the holiday cheer than with Stone Rain Tribal. That's right, baby. We're doing land destruction this week. The commander, well I should say commanders in this case, is the partner pair of Krark the Thumbless and Ishai, Ojutai Dragonspeaker. Krark the Thumbless is a 2 mana, 1 generic, and 1 red for a 2/2 goblin wizard that says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return that spell to its owner's hand. If you win the flip, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for that copy. Ishai, Ojutai Dragonspeaker, is a 4 mana 1/1 with flying, that's 2 generic, 1 blue, 1 white, that says, whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Ishai, Ojutai Dragonspeaker. I chose Krark to be my commander for a few reasons. First, coin flipping is fun, and I do have a Krark deck which I'll have in the link down in the video description below. 2, if our land destruction has a little RNG in it, it might not be as salt-inducing. And 3, copying land destruction spells seems fun, and like a good time. Well, for us, not so much our opponents. As for the other partner, Ishai, I just wanted access to blue and white, and Ishai fits the bill. No other reason than that. Now before I get into the rest of it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell to get notifications when all my videos go live. If you have any deck suggestions or any feedback, please let me know in the comment section below. Alright, with all the housekeeping out of the way, let's get into it. To kick off this absolutely degenerate deck, let's talk about land destruction. So we have 22 Stone Rain-esque cards in the deck. Some of my favorite are of course Stone Rain, the namesake of the deck, Volcanic Awakening, because it has Storm, and then Flowstone Flood, since we can return it to our hand with buyback. Something important to do in a land destruction deck, especially like this, is to have win conditions, because unfortunately, just destroying our opponent's lands won't let us win the game. So the first idea that came to mind as a way to win is creating tokens. There are a lot of cards in Magic that will benefit when we cast instants or sorceries to give us tokens. Monastery Mentor, Third Path Iconoclast, and Shark Typhoon are the first 3 I think of. Thankfully, Monastery Mentor was just reprinted in Double Masters 2022, so it's a lot more affordable, and Shark Typhoon's only about $6 and makes a bunch of flying sharks. Something I tried to avoid in this deck in particular, because we're focused more on the land destruction theme, are Storm cards. Storm can be kind of hard to keep track of, especially if you're playing this deck later in the evening, and sometimes they take the fun out of games, especially if your opponent isn't expecting it. So let's not add salt to the wound, so to speak. But there are cards that do give our spells Pseudo-Storm, or benefits from just playing lots of spells. Thousand Year Storm was just reprinted in Double Masters 2022, so it's a lot more affordable at about $1. Arcane Bombardment from Streets of New Capenna, and Aetherflux Reservoir, which was just reprinted in the Brothers War, that gives us the life whenever we cast a spell for each spell we've cast during this turn. There is an important rules interaction I would like to point out that you might miss. Arcane Bombardment, whenever we cast our first instant or sorcery spell each turn, we exile an instant or sorcery card from our graveyard at random. Then we copy each card exiled with Arcane Bombardment. You may cast any number of those copies without paying their mana cost. So with Krark out, because it cares about when we cast instant or sorcery spells, we do have to flip a coin whenever this triggers, which means if we lose the flip, unfortunately the card is just countered because it's a token copy on the stack and not an actual card. But if we win the flip, we do double up, so if we have 3 or 4 cards exiled under Arcane Bombardment, we would flip that many coins. There is one last small sub-theme I include in the deck, which is going to be treasures. The reason for this is if all else fails, we can hopefully get a bunch of treasures and just shoot off a giant fireball to burn everyone out. So I included cards like Brass's Bounty, Big Score, and Unexpected Windfall to make a bunch of treasure tokens, and if we have Krark out, we can potentially even double up on these. And then I included Fireball as a backup win condition if all else fails. And if we have Krark out, we might get lucky and just copy a giant fireball, or with Thousand Year Storm, make a bunch of copies of it. The play pattern for this deck is going to be pretty straightforward. Play Krark on turn 2 hopefully, then we'll start blasting off land destruction spells and playing our Magecraft or Instants and Sorcery payoffs. Of course, if that plan fails because we're missing a lot of coin flips, Ishai, Ojutai Dragonspeaker is a backup win condition because as our opponents play spells, it'll get bigger and you can kill with commander damage. And don't forget, Krark is a coin flip commander, so there'll be some games where you hit a lot of those coin flips, and on some games where you hit none of them. And that's okay, that's the fun of an RNG deck like this. Of course, every budget deck has ways of improving. My first suggestion will always be upgrading the mana base. Upgraded mana bases can be used in all of your decks, so I find it's the best initial investment for your money. Other than just upgrading your lands, you could always add more Storm cards if you so desire, like Grape Shot, Mind Desires, or Brain Freeze. Again, I personally avoided them in this particular deck because I wanted to stick to the theme, but if you want to take out some of those land destruction cards for more suitable win conditions, more power to you. For the astute among you who follow CEDH in any way, shape, or form, you probably know the deck Krarkashima, or Krark the Thumbless and Sakashima of a Thousand Faces. This lets you make a copy of Krark that's not legendary, and you can flip even more coins when you cast spells. Spark Double and Vile Duplication are also ways of doing this. Vile Duplication having the added benefit of being a sorcery, so you could potentially copy it with Krark to get even more Krarks. And the last thing I'll mention is Krark does have Partner. So if you don't want a deck in Jeskai colors and you just want to do red-black, let's say, you can do that. All the Stone Rain effects are in red, so Krark will get you there. And then you can add any color splash you want. I personally went with Jeskai, but let me know in the comments below if there are any partners that you would like to see with Krark. And with that, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment below with any feedback or deck suggestions you'd like to see. Hit that like button if you liked it, disliked if you didn't like it, subscribe, ring that bell to get notifications when all my videos go live. This has been Ben with BathroomBrewsMTG, and remember, always wash your hands.